Yeah,
they went back to not having
it's
more fun than
It's
Rel.
Nocturne Nico. It's good enough.
Yeah. This is fine. And this is also a heck of a lot of value. It means that a lot of that lockdown is still going to be there. And yeah, you don't get to do like the Magnet Storm Shockwave, but Pop Blossom Shockwave in the dark sounds pretty good to me.
Sounds pretty broken.
Yeah.
And we will see to what extent FEARX is going to be able to withstand the power of T1 playing a lot of the same parts. Obviously, the Rel is a big swap up. Now the Nocturne is going to make your teamfights hard to play. And we'll get to see the Nico Sportsman.
All right, here we are. Let's see what shenanigans we're going to be in for in this game. I think an early start, like an early gank from Willer or something like that towards this bottom lane, would not be a bad idea once again. So I assume T1, oh, they do have a Nocturne, so I guess they're not going to be doing anything until it's level 6. So Willer should have run of the map for quite some time.
And early jungle tracking going to be really big. Personally do hope that T1 is able to at least know where Willer starts, go from there. I do think Nocturne is actually, especially with how strong Lethal Tempo is at the moment, actually a pretty underrated duelist early on. I just, ideally, you, as you were saying, want to just get to 6 as soon as possible. Maybe pick up an early grub, just the one. Yep, one grub to maximize your XP gain. And this is the matchup that you and I are both very, very worried about. As what? And this are we gonna flip the lane level 1?
Is the real one? Well, Execute is going to say that one is Carrier. And in fact, it was John who did it. There's a flash pulverize though, as Gumayush is in so much trouble. The flash forward from Henna immediately, and he's gonna get first blood in the 2v2. And that is how you do it. They didn't even need Willer this time. Not too much is going to happen. So Willer trying to have that early presence that we saw in game number 1. Hasn't found as much joy this time. As, all right, there's the Hex Flash, Headbutt Pulve, but Execute just going to take some fire for his trouble. And now Henna, he's in a lot of it as well. These autos starting to pile up as the piercing arrow comes down. That was a lot of blight. And Gumayushi gets his revenge.
They're going to try and find as many of these early angles as they can. Maybe centered around the reset power of this Kalista, but it's going to also depend on Execute actually having some level of early success in these fights. Maybe isolate a target together with Willer, but the last time was extremely good as Faker.
No, Henna's just going to have to flash. Shockwave comes out, and Faker turns up and says, you guys are not getting any of these minions.
Oh, Carrier hits 6 there as well, if I'm not mistaken. And that means, in turn, that they can't move up to the wave. So they're going to lose Flash on Henna, 2 blades, and this entire wave. So
and or like the other option, right? Is that what coaches say? That it's like, I don't think you should get solo killed again.
Yeah, I don't know if the player themselves know that that's a bad thing. Maybe Zeus is just a big fan of the O2 power spike. You know, he's studied.
Hey, that's true. I mean, there are a lot of Noguri fans here. There are a lot of Noguri fans.
There's one sitting right beside you.
Yeah, well, absolutely. There's one sitting right beside you too.
Hey!
You know what I'm saying? It goes in a circle. Infinite Noguri fans.
Pop Blossom into a Faker ultimate.
Yeah, you need to make sure you know which one's Carrier and which one isn't. As there's an all-out special delivery as Willer gets the little mini wall stun, and the execution is there. Gorgeous play from the top jungle here of FEARX. And now Faker going to get pushed underneath the turret. There's the Shockwave flash. I just don't know whether it's going to be enough here as the Sand Soldier comes out, and that is actually a 1-for-1. Just absurd.
V1 out of that closer. Foddy around the court, maybe could have flashed away from the final damage to the ball. There's Execute.
There's a flash pulverize. Headbutt back there as well as Pop Blossom grabs 2. And now Henna is the target. He just pops. Oh, I didn't even think that was necessarily a bad move by Execute, but it just got outplayed.
Really good positioning there from Carrier on the Pop Blossom. Henna needs to be in close range to do damage.
And Plate's going to be picked up here as well, because it's just too strong if it does all just work out. As Willer going to come in, grab himself some grubs. Should be 3 going over to them. They want to stick around.
Might not care. We have Herald spawning in about 45 seconds, so just a no grub game.
Huh. So no mites.
No scrubs.
Yeah.
Like that song?
I'm a big fan. Always TLC. Was a little bit, I felt like that song was basically the same as, what was the really famous Ed Sheeran song? If you listen to a mashup of No Scrubs, Chronicler, if you are both an Ed Sheeran and a TLC fan. Ironically or unironically.
Hey, I don't believe in ironically enjoying music. I think you just enjoy it. That's fine. That doesn't need to be ironically. Just enjoy it. It's fine. You can like stuff that isn't highbrow.
Well, I mean, you could just I mean, it depends. You know, it's like if you're the person that wants to do that. I'm just trying to get as many people to tweet at you as possible. Is what I'm going for. T1 going to back away after taking themselves the dragon. FEARX are not going to be able to grab anything here. Oh, I felt it. Jonas Strong felt it as well. He's thinking that maybe there was a swoop afoot.
That was the objective, which in that case wasn't going to ever happen. Or you need to commit.
Ooh, flash. Commit flash. Willa
just
commit his. He's just going to grab himself a Rift Herald.
Wow.
And, yeah, Zayas just wanders away. He did Umbrally Dash as Emperor's Divide comes down. Now Execute's going to come in, but Closer might just die. No! It is going to be Execute that helps lock it down with a hoof. As the teleport came in from Faker as well. I think Closer's out of this fight. There he goes. Faker locks down that kill, so a 4v4. As Faker's still looking to come around, and Carrier Pop Blossom gets into the backline alongside the Paranoia. Henna's still alive for the moment, but Clear now looking to try and clean this one up. He does go all out, but I don't know what he's going to be able to get done here. Gumushi very, very low, trying to kite it out as best he can, and he does so! Still, Willa gets the double, and now it's Faker and Carrier versus the world. Execute trying to be the bouncer. The Q is going to miss. The snare is going to be there, and Faker, he has no more mana to try and get this one. He's going to have to try and get some auto attack. Oh, Zayas just turns up, and it is now over unless Faker will be taken down. There's at least one back still. Willa pretty strong. He's not going to win the fight against Zayas, but he takes down Carrier.
Wheeler is trying so hard, man!
Everyone died in that fight, I swear, at least twice. Ground here against Henna and Clear in the mid lane. Execute coming on over, and we'll be able to clear out a little bit of this vision. Rift Herald coming on through. It's the set play to make sure you can get as much control of the river as possible as Gumiushi a little bit by himself, but Zayas is going to rotate over. Clear taking some damage, and T1, they've already started off this dragon, and Faker so safe on a control ward here as well, as Ona now doesn't have flash, or at least one charge now missing. As, all right, in goes Carrier. He finds the backline, the shockwave to take down Closer. And they're going to utilize Ona to try and get on top of Henna. He's going to get feared and taken out. And the damage dealers are just dead in the blink of an eye. That's how this composition is supposed to work. And T1, they give up on the Drake. It's time for Baron.
They don't even care about getting an individual Mountain Drake. Run straight to Nash. I don't know if there's a whole lot that can be done by FEARX here. Wheeler is alive. Can the man get a Miracle Steal? Faker standing guard. It is hard though to keep this Lee out of the pit, but there's just not enough vision. There's not enough people. And that'll be the end of Baron. A turret is all they're going to get. They might be able to get a single Drake, which...
Oh, there we go.
There's 2 teleports available though. I don't even know if T1 is going to let them have this. It looks like instead they're just going to go for the turret, say that we don't care too much.
Yeah, and Faker actually elected to stop the back, wanted to take down the turret, bunch more money, and delay the Drake takers. This Pop Blossom, absolutely gorgeous. In live, stuff is happening, but not all that important.
I want to highlight here as well, and this is something that is really easy to miss when you're looking at this from a spectator's point of view. If Clear and Wheeler actually had vision, I think they might have tried to contest the fight more. Because Guma was actually almost down. I don't know how much he could have reliably done, and they did still have a couple of big cooldowns available, but because of the nature of Paranoia, they're like, we have to run out. Like, there's just no way. We don't know where to go. And it makes a teamfight that was already won even more one-sided.
And it also really... Oh, okay. Nice sidestep by Clear as Pop Blossom is going to catch the Cassante, and no one is tanky enough to withstand that. It is a lot of investment for just a kill onto the top laner, but this is making sure that this Baron is going to be utilized to perfect effect. Henna is tidying up a wave on the top side of the map, and that means that it should mean they can go for a fight down here. There's the Paranoia Shockwave, as the Fear is going to go off against Closer. He's not dead just yet, though. as Execute getting fairly close. There is no more minion wave, and Hannah is just continuing to clear out these minions. So, not too bad on the defense here on the side of FEARX, but it is still a 3.6 thousand gold Red Bull Baron power play.
And more importantly, they might not get the turret initially, but they do on the follow-up. Right now, FEARX seeing their opportunity to extend this series slipping away from them. Gonna need an insane Hail Mary.
All right, there's the kick flash onto Faker. They managed to get the pulverize as well. Fate's call to come through. Knockups are bound. Faker surviving for a very long time, but eventually will be taken out. And now it's Gumyushi's turn. He's trying to kite it as best he can. Closer almost dies. As Carrier, he's a caster minion. And he's just going to wander his way out. Zeus grabs himself 700 gold by taking down this inner turret. T1, they lose their two biggest damage dealers outside of Zeus.
You don't have Baron buff.
Well, Carrier is just... he's pretending. And Henna is not going to buy it. But there is an Aatrox, and now there's a very dead Kalista. Zeus, that's a lot of items you have there, sir. Okay, well now he's going to get chased down by Clear. Paranoia comes out though, and they're going to dive on top of this. Kasante Pop Blossom onto 3 once again. Not a lot of follow-up, but he buys the space required to get Zeus out and Ona. Willer in a bit of trouble here as well, and man, Carrier is playing his heart out today.
You went for Shirelli second as well. And of course there's a little bit of AP on that item, but we've been so used to seeing the Nico mid.
As he's going to find 3 again! And another Paranoia comes down. Hannah in a bit of trouble. He should get actually surviving for a very long time. Carrier trying to limp his way out. Ona going to be able to get a drive-by onto the Kalista. And he's also very tanky.
Doesn't die.
Yeah, and there's just no way for Closer to be able to get in there and do damage. As now Carrier going to put a couple of versions of Faker around the map. Oh, wow. I just realized how overpowered it is to transform into Faker and make it so that there's 3 Fakers. It's 3 global taunt. Frozen Heart and a good item.
Wait, Carrier did the most damage in the game. What?
Okay. Well, I guess that's what happens when you land amazing Pop Blossoms. It might be slightly changed now after Zeus does all of Closer's health bar.
I was talking about how he doesn't do much damage. Okay, never mind. I take it back.
It didn't look like he did that, but he's been hitting people a lot all game long, and that adds up.
I don't think this is the game where
he has
T1...
an elixir of iron,
I don't think this is the game where T1 is no longer getting away with it. I think this is yet another one.
I actually think they may have reinvented the meta. I don't even think it's a getting away with anything. I think we're just having a glance into the future. T1, they're the knowers. We're the learners right now.
We're starting to realize just what is possible with support. Solo queue had it right all along.
Exactly. All of those Xeraths that were telling you that they're relevant.
They are! Okay, Execute. This is your moment.
Well, Carrier can be a ward. Chains of Corruption do go white, though. There's the Paranoia and Execute. No one's there for the rest of his team. Another Pop Blossom hits absolutely everyone. And the Shockwave, Zeus just pressing all of his buttons. And this is going to be the end of this game. Closer is going to have to flash away, but the only upside is that he can maybe have a rest on his fountain, and even then, that is not going to be allowed. There are a couple of Nexus turrets that are proving to be a little bit frustrating, but Fake is going to be able to collect that kill. And Carrier is going to take a well-deserved rest, as T1 will say goodnight to this game. I tell you what, though, POGs are sometimes difficult. This time, it isn't, you know?
No.
And that's nice.
Yeah, it's been there for a while. I was the paper. Don't you worry. Up until the mid-game, I was like, yeah, Owner actually playing a clean game and not get Faker. Yeah. It's